Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's PitchZone time. And I am so excited today because we have a returning presenter. But before I get to him, let me briefly explain what PitchZone is all about. Every week, a couple of coaches get together and we help one presenter improve a short pitch. The goal is around 3 minutes. And so if you would like to apply to come in here and get your pitch reviewed by professional coaches, this is the link to apply and secure yourself a spot. All right, my name is Claudio. I'm the host, I'm a presentation coach, and it is my real honor and delight to welcome back Kirk Bogle. Kirk, how are you today?
Doing great, sir. You?
You are in the Midwest in the United States, right?
We are. We've got the blizzard coming probably after I log off here.
Okay. So that's actually impressive. That's a typical, or the great founder mentality, you know, neither snow nor sleet, oh no, that's the post office, but something along that line. This is, you just go for it. Excellent. Kirk, you've been here already 2 weeks ago. You received some feedback, and I look forward to seeing your pitch. Now, before we even get into that, and before I bring in the other coaches, let me ask you one question. What is the number one thing that you changed based on the feedback that you received?
Oh my goodness! I put in the whole kitchen sink. I hope I hope I didn't stuff it too full. I definitely the financials and the pricing. And also to talk a little bit about the co-founder team. So I guess at least those three are the big ones.
Awesome. And of course, your energy is top notch, and that's really what counts at the end of the day. So, Kirk, let's welcome in the other coaches, starting with Nathan Gold, who joins us from San Francisco. No blizzard coming your way, Nathan. But any weather or any other situations that you want to share with us?
Well, good morning to you all and Kirk and the world. As you may have read in the news, we have had a slew of earthquakes here in California. Right here in our own house in Fremont, just about 3 miles from Tesla, the Tesla factory. Our house literally felt like it was picked up off the ground and slapped back down on the ground. It was the most odd feeling in the whole. I can still feel it in my bones. It was so odd, even compared to the 1989 earthquake, which was a lot bigger and longer. It was crazy, but we're all okay. I don't think there was a terrible amount of damage or anything anywhere, and nothing fell down in the house.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Nathan. Thanks for joining us as every single week, and I'm going to put you right into the coach's corner up here and bring in coach number 2, Susan Trumpler. How are you? You are joining us for the second time here. The last time was a very unusual pitch zone because it was just sharing tips by the coaches. And I don't know, Susan, whether it was you or the subject, but that video was a hit. A lot of people watched the replay there. So, Susan, I'm so happy to have you back again. How are you? And are you ready for the big holidays?
Oh, good morning. And thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. And I am going to start my Christmas shopping tomorrow. So I purposely, I know I'm one of those people that it gets me into the holiday spirit. I just love doing it, concentrated all at the same time. And it really keeps me just on top of things. I make a decision and I move on. So I'm ready for it.
I absolutely love how you frame that procrastination.
Thank you.
Lovely. Susan, I'm going to put you into the coach's corner as well and bring in Stuart Pink, our third coach for today. Stuart is a regular coach here as well, a very experienced presenter himself, lots of experience with high stakes situations, has come in third place in the World Championship of Public Speaking. So you know a thing or two about high pressure presenting. Stuart, it's always a great pleasure to have you here. You are hailing from Massachusetts. How's the weather over there?
The weather's fine, but after hearing Kirk and Nathan, I feel like I'm supposed to announce a volcano has just erupted in Boston or something like that to try and compete. But no, it's cold, but otherwise fine.
All right.
Very excited to be here today, so looking forward to it.
Weather, we have a check mark. How about the Christmas shopping?
Well, compared to Susan, I am remarkably well prepared. So thank you, Susan, for making me feel so good about myself.
Awesome. Stuart, I'm going to put you into the coaches row as well. And very quickly want to also welcome Rick Pollack, who is joining us on YouTube. Rick, also from Boston, Massachusetts. He's one of our coaches, and he for sure will also put in some comments here while you are going through your pitch, Kirk. And that's kind of the signal, going through your pitch. So, Kirk, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, and this time you are going to share slides. So I'm going to set you up here in this frame. These are your slides. This is Kirk Bogle. Take a deep, deep breath. And Kirk, whenever you're ready, you know the drill. The floor is yours.
Well, I thank you for giving me a chance to tell my story today. My name is Kirk Bogle, and I am the father of a 2-year-old. And probably like most parents, when our Luke came to join our family, that was pretty much the end of my peace of mind. My wife and I both work from home. We have so many distractions, and you just never feel as though you have enough eyes on your children. We love our Wi-Fi baby cams, our GPS kid trackers, but it struck me that in this age of the Internet of Things, no one had offered a moving baby monitor, one that was based on location and designed for use within the home. I wanted something that would let me know when Luke was approaching the stove or the giant bookshelf that could topple over. So we proposed what we call Good Gate. And the way it works is you have a tag that affixes to your child's clothing or diaper waistband, maybe a wristband holder if they're a little bit older. And the tag communicates with beacons that you can set up wherever you like around the house. You can put them at the tops and bottoms of stairs next to your traditional baby gate, really just any points of interest that you define. And when the child approaches the beacon, the LEDs light up, a little sentence of audio, spoken sentence tells them what they're approaching. And it's just another layer of oversight that we think is going to really help protect children and help give parents peace of mind. Beyond what happens with the hardware, it's an app-driven system, so you can change and manage all the beacon settings, the lights and the sound. And when a beacon is triggered, you get an alert to your phone letting you know what part of the house they're at. With family sharing, your babysitter can forward those alerts to you while you're out enjoying a meal. You can check in remotely. And again, we're really just excited about being able to help offer more protection to families. We're really excited. We think that for pricing, we'll sell a kit of 3 beacons in a tag, probably matching our competitors for baby Wi-Fi cameras. We could cut those prices in half and still have great margins. We're excited about expanding the tech for elder tech, for people with visual or other mobility issues. There are obvious opportunities for pet tech. So we're just looking forward to that. And we think that based on public information from our competitors and our go-to-market strategy, we see it as a $100 million plus business by year 3. There are a lot of babies, a lot of staircases. And my co-founder and wife and I, we have experience launching and scaling businesses, bringing products to market. And we hope that you'll consider us for your incubator. The investment that you offer as a reward would take us through prototyping and help us deliver the new baby monitor. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. I was so floored here, Kirk, that I started to push the wrong buttons here on my control deck because I was like, wow, wow. First of all, the timing. The timing was just perfect. You came in at 2 minutes 57. Your goal was 3 minutes. So absolutely perfect. Your energy, your friendliness, your likability. I'm just really, really in awe there.
Oh,
Absolutely well done. Also, how you integrated the feedback from our first session. And so let me open up the round of feedback with someone that wasn't here last time, and that is Susan. Susan, what kind of feedback do you have? Totally fresh feedback. You haven't
Mhm.
watched the previous pitch. This is the first time you've seen it. What's your impression? What have you noticed?
Oh, so wonderful job, Kirk. I know that there's a lot of pressure and it's hard to do your best when you're under that type of pressure, but you really did a great job. Here's the thing that I think is so important when you're selling or pitching to someone is your own passion and belief in what you're doing. And that came across extraordinarily clear. The bringing your child into it and triggering the emotion right out of the gate around how important that child is to you and that this is what is behind your purpose, your mission for your business was beautiful. I loved it. So
oh, thank you.
who you were in your presentation, I don't think you could have done any better. Absolutely perfect.
Oh,
Now, now for the other side of the picture,
yes.
what you're pitching. Okay. Um, you had me at the get-go, right? And I wanted to I was like, this is amazing. But you know what really got me distracted was the PowerPoint itself, the phone. Okay. And let me just say why. Because
Okay.
in my mind, I was saying, oh my gosh, if my child, the beacon, when you use the word beacon, perfect. But I wanted it to be a beacon that alerted me, like, tell me my child's in trouble. And I kept seeing this phone that I'd have to check my phone or that, right? So, and that's probably not even the case, I would imagine, right?
Right,
But
right.
yeah, but because I was seeing the phone, what it did was connect in my mind that I would be dependent on looking at that phone to see if my child. And so, from that standpoint, from a product capability standpoint, it actually raised questions in my mind, which I didn't like.
Oh, very
And I'm
good. Thank you.
okay. So that is just, I believe that the story that you want to tell in your visuals would be an audible alert, a warning, boom, 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 pool door open, holy cow, run, right? And to me, the visual, the app. So that was just one thing. Um,
Perfect. Thank you.
and then as an investor, here's the last thing that I'll say because I'm sure everybody has a lot of feedback as well. Um, and I mentioned this during our last conversation when I was on the pitch zone. You actually have the opportunity here to pitch two problems. One is the problem that your product sells or solves. Sorry. So the product that you're pitching solves. You did that really well. But to get an investor to actually say, why should I give Kirk my money? You've got to actually talk about them. Like, why
Okay.
are you the person I should give my money to? What's in it for me? And you went so fast over the financials that I think you didn't sell the fact
Okay.
that this was the best decision they could make this day on an investment. So spend a little bit more time in talking about why this is a sure thing. The numbers that you put up on the screen, too fast. I couldn't even digest them and I didn't know is this what you've done already? Is this your projections? What is my investment return going to be? Just spend a little bit more time there.
Perfect. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, Kirk, first of all, congratulations. You seem to have a very rare gift as a presenter, which is that you do so much so well. And this time you introduced the whole concept of slides. And for the most part, I thought the slides were amazing. The way you presented whilst showing them was seamless. And you make presenting look so easy. And I love that because I think presenting should be made to look easy. and you're a wonderful example of this. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
What I would mostly like to talk about is the slides, at least for this portion. And I think you started really, really strongly. There was a really cute image on the first slide. If anything, I would say make it bigger. I wanted to see that baby even bigger there because it's such a cute thing. And then I loved the video of the little babies and toddlers moving around. And what was beautiful about that part of the presentation was that you were able to keep talking. We could watch the picture, but there was nothing too distracting on the slides, so we could still hear what you were saying. I always say when presenting, it's so important that there isn't a conflict between the presenter and what they're saying and the slides they're showing, because the audience thinks, well, am I listening to you or am I looking and reading the slides? And so early on, I think you had that balance just perfect. I definitely think as we got later on through the presentation, some of the slides came a bit hard and fast at us, and there was more information. You had a couple of slides where I think there were 3 lines of writing, and that's not too much writing, but they whizzed on and off too quickly to read. And then at the very end, there was even more writing on the slides. Like Susan said, the financials slide, it was gone in a flash. And of course, if you show financials and then whip them away, that almost makes you think, hang on, is there something that he didn't want me to see? So my recommendation overall would be everything is great, but just pick the best bits. I think at the moment you've got a little bit too much for 3 minutes, but definitely you are going to be able to answer people's questions afterwards with this extra information you have. And in line with maybe cutting things down a little bit, you present really nicely. I love your enthusiasm. You know what you're talking about. It's conversational. It's great. But the one thing that there wasn't was any variety. And whatever your speaking style is, every presenter needs to find a way to vary things. And I think in this case, what we wanted was a little pause here or there. Maybe at the outset, when we're sort of thinking about the dangers that could come to the babies, I think when you introduce the concept of good gait, I knew what it was. I've heard your presentation before, but that's a big moment. We want to hear that word. We want to understand that word. So just looking for those little places where you can change up the way you're presenting. But again, these are really fine kind of remarks of what I thought was a fantastic presentation. So great job.
Thank you very much.
And it's really what it's all about, right? It's these fine tunings, especially when a pitch is that good already, right? Then it's time to look at the real small little details on the delivery side. And the theme so far with both Stuart and Susan has been a little bit on the slides, right? Because your delivery is so good, so energetic and enthusiastic, the slides. And the slides were basically a video, right? You had the whole thing is packed into a video, which also helps you to keep track of the time, right? But it's a risky thing as well. It's a risky thing. Now, on our side, on my side, I don't know whether everybody saw it like that, but it was very choppy. It was very choppy for everybody, right? The video was choppy. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So I'm wondering if it was choppy on your side as well, or if something happened on the transmission from your end through me here.
There was a section where trying to advance it seemed to zoom it up. So I had to go in and find the advance button.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
aside from that, it looked like it was smooth on my end. Knock wood.
Okay. Then it may be related to the platform that we are using here or something. Somebody had their foot on the internet cable or something, so nothing to worry about as long as it runs smoothly on your end. I just wanted to see whether it would be an issue with your computer or not. Okay. But keeping keeping on with the slides, we have also Massimo Peroncelli on YouTube, and he made the following comment. He saw the last presentation. First slide, greatly improved. Now, Massimo has a very keen eye for details. So he noticed that the logo is not the same on the box and the slide. So ultimately, of course, they need to match. And of course, no watermark on the real pitch, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory or fully understood. And now everything is in there. But it felt a little bit rushed, especially the last 25%. And I think that's also the point that Susan was making, right? Towards the end, the financial information felt a little bit rushed. And then Rick also had a couple comments here. Again, slides. And it goes pretty much in line with what Stuart was saying as well, especially what Stuart was saying for the last part, right? In the beginning, Stuart felt it's well balanced, but at one point then all of a sudden, the focus of the viewer was probably more on the slides than on you. So yeah, that's a very, very great feedback here from our YouTube viewers as well. Thanks a lot. And Nathan, how can Kirk improve this already excellent pitch? What are your thoughts?
As you said, it's all fine tuning at this point. And let's go back to what Susan started with, because Kirk is being a great listener right now by not rebutting anything we're saying, and that shows a lot. And we don't want to rebut what you said, Susan. I just want to add to Kirk, you just spotted how important it is that feature of the beacon actually speaks must come across this pitch, and then it will get rid of Susan's why do I have to pick up my phone all the time? Because you could have 7 kids in the house and be eating dinner, and alarm bells are going all over the house, but you're having a calm dinner. Because it's the mother's voice. I'm sorry, I'm selling you, Kirk. Could be the mother's voice saying, "Hey, Johnny, you're too close to the stairs. Move back."
Right.
So it's a very cool thing. Okay, and then on to Stuart's point, because in the fine tuning, one of the most important things to do is to use pauses for purpose. And in what Stuart brought out is, if you don't pause when you say something that's got to come to life in our minds, that we have to feel for a moment. If you rush too fast onto the next thing, we don't have that joy of experiencing whatever associations come to our mind when we see a baby about to fall down the stairs or rolling on the floor or anything like that. So my recommendation to you, Kirk, here is, you spent about 2.5 minutes of this 3 minutes on the problem in the product.
Okay.
You're applying to an incubator. So I would cut that way down, maybe leave about 1.5 minutes for that, and 1.5 minutes if you were doing a 3-minute kind of thing for the business and the opportunity. As Susan said earlier, you need to make it about the opportunity as well, not only about the product. And that balance would help you bring out the value that you can bring to the incubator or accelerator or investor that could get on board with you. Okay?
Sounds great. Thank you.
I have more, but let's go back to the others.
Fabulous feedback. Really great all around. The one thing that I was missing today, and I'm not sure whether I just didn't see it or whether it was because of the setup, because your camera window was so small. Did you actually show the product?
Handheld, no, not today.
Yeah, okay. I think, with a product like this, it's always good. It's always a good idea to show it as well. Even if you have the video, to me, it's always a good idea to also show the product to make it more real. It's small. It's very well, you can show it easily on the camera. All right. So Stuart, what kind of additional comments do you have?
Well, I just want to make a comment which I hope is helpful to you, Kirk, but also true for so many people who find themselves having to give a speech, which is that a lot of people think, oh, I've got to give a speech. Let me write down everything I know, and that will be my speech. And of course, we're already at 3 minutes, and there's so much here. And in terms of thinking about, well, what can you do to reduce it? Just remember, you are the world's leading expert on this product. This is your product. You could probably speak for an hour. You could probably speak for a day about this. You know everything about this product. And so all you really need to convey in whatever time you have available is what is most important about this, and showing your audience that you are such an expert. You have everything at your fingertips. They're going to get that opportunity to speak to you as well after the presentation. So you can tease them. Don't hide things from them that they should know, but you can tease them with a sort of, it will be implicit, but if you want to know more, please ask me because I have all the answers. And if you take that approach to presenting, you don't then have the panic of, I need to fit in everything I possibly can in this time. They're going to be comfortable. They're going to think, oh yes, he seems to know what he's talking about. And afterwards, let me ask the thing that I'm really interested in, which you will doubtless have the answer for. So I hope that's a helpful way of thinking about things. Awesome.
That is actually a very good distinction. And I saw Susan nodding. So Susan, I'm going to put you on the spot here again. You were nodding, please.
I just love everything Nathan and Stuart was saying for you, Kirk. It's so spot on about the balance of time. And then don't worry about telling everything. And what came together for me during that, and the reason I was nodding, is I would love for you to tell a story and put your investors into the story. Imagine if you were all sitting around the table tonight having dinner with the people you love the most, right? And imagine hearing this sound and then have the beacon go off. Pool door open, and like tell the story as opposed to telling what it does, and put them in that story. And then you can do it in a minute and a half, right? You could do it super fast. Or it might be this situation where, like Claudio said, child too close to the stairs, and you're immediately able to run and get them or to correct them. Now I get it. In a deep personal way through a story, you can do it faster and then get on to, and this is what it means for investors. We've already, put this into the hands of X number of people, and, you can go into that financial piece of it with them knowing the importance of it at the most deepest level for themselves. Just my thought.
Thank you. I love it.
That's not just a thought. That leads me into how you can use your origin story in this case. Right?
Oh,
just
very
go.
good.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, Kirk, I don't know where you found this, but I love this opening line. I don't know if everybody caught this, but he said, "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am the founder of a 2-year-old." And if you don't pause after that, Kirk, that's people might not go, what did he just say? I gotta, right? And that's a fun moment. I caught on to it. And if you don't pause there, people are gonna miss it. And it's so brilliant, right? But right after you say that, you can say, all of this, our origin story began at the dinner table. When we blah blah, and our 2-year-old was blah 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 blah, and then do what Susan just said. Tell us how the value of the product is based on the eyes of the parents sitting at the table, blah, blah, that kind of stuff. And then you'll get our hearts and our minds all at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, really good.
Priceless. Now I'm really starting to already look forward to your third appearance here, Kirk, because I know it's going to be vastly different again. So really, really great. Stuart, you want to mention something about humor? Please.
Yes, I mean, first of all, completely agree with Nathan. I love that opening line. I am a big believer that any speech is better with humor in it. I think humor just makes people laugh, and when they laugh, they're enjoying it, they're paying attention. And all I wanted to say really is not humor is not telling jokes. Humor is uncovering the funny side of situations. So that line, for example, is funny. In a 3-minute pitch, I don't know that you have time for this idea, but if you were speaking and had a bit longer, thinking of ways in which what you are talking about could also be funny. And an image came to me of, imagine you're in a big meeting and you're presenting, and you could say something like, I have a dream that one day, as I'm standing here speaking, all of you have your phones pinging because your good gate is alerting you to something happening at home, and you have to run out of my meeting because the safety of your children is far more important than listening to me. It's a silly point, but it's the kind of thing you could play with, and if you had time, might be funny. Now, obviously, I don't think you have time in 3 minutes, but just always be open to opportunities. And if you think of something like that, you might find a way to fit it in. You never know.
Great. I love that. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Humor, and this suggestion, perfect, perfect, perfect. Nathan put into our back chat here that this would be a fun way to end this pitch. And yeah, I agree. Let me pull in one more comment here from our YouTube viewer, Rick. He mentions that the Alexa integration for an audible alarm is too important to only have on the slide. You should make sure you say that instead of show it quickly on the slide. So make a point out of that as well, because that's really something very, very cool. All right, who can add anything else? We've been going now for, and this is the amazing thing, right? If coaching is done right, it can be done very, very quickly. We've been only doing this session for 30 minutes, and Kirk, you already have a laundry list again, right? And we are not done yet because Nathan has something in addition.
And this is really for all of us, and that is, your sound quality today is not where it needs to be.
Okay.
Yeah, the microphone, in my opinion, is I don't know the right word for it, but it's just not clear enough. And maybe it's my side here. I am only listening in one ear today, but I feel like if you don't up the game on your sound quality, you're missing out the opportunity of using the microphone to gain more credibility, more likability, more trust. It works in your favor when you sound like you're on the radio in a huge way. So if you can, I'll work with you on this too. If we can figure out a way to get you a better microphone, because the ones in your ears, well, I don't know what the other people are seeing here, but it's just not what it could be. And when you record yourself, obviously, to apply to an incubator, you might not use them in that recording, but let's work on that, because the higher quality your sound quality, study has shown from USC in 2018, they did a study on sound quality of people's credibility, trust, and believability in the speaker. And a degraded sound quality degrades everything about what people think of you as well. And I know how stupid that sounds, but the higher the quality of your voice, the more people will pay attention, the more they'll lean forward, and all good things come from that. So that would be the only thing I'd like to see you change. And for everybody out there, I can tell you, the minute you upgrade your sound online, everyone who knows you will comment. They'll say, whoa, you sound so much better. And those who don't know you will automatically lean forward. Guaranteed.
Perfect.
I could just build on what Nathan just said. What Nathan said is generally true for everyone. But of course, what you have, Kirk, is a product that specifically has a sound element to it. So there's an element of does he know what he's doing here? And even though the presentation is different to that, you want to come across as masterful at anything that might link to what your actual product is as well. So that those are two reasons why it'd be really good to have the best sound quality that you possibly can.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. And sound is so tricky to get right? Because it depends also on the room that you're sitting in. And, I'm totally challenged with the room that I'm sitting in. I can give you a very quick demonstration. This is my microphone from my built-in Apple Studio display, right? Which is
Wow.
supposed to be the best microphone, the built-in microphone that you can find, right? And then, of course, this is my treated sound. And I hope it picked it up again and you're not listening to my... Okay, thank you. And I'm still not happy with it, right? I'm not 100% happy. If I could treat my room somehow, but I can't, and I live in a resort in Thailand, so I cannot, either move or just do what I do, or be willing to have my microphone in my screen. But I'm not yet willing to do that. So yes, sound is so important. When I read that study that Nathan mentioned from the University of Southern California, it just became clear that sound needs to be absolutely on the mark, because we are losing credibility. With every single degradation of the sound, we do lose credibility a little bit. All right, this was a tremendous round of feedback to a truly excellent pitch. So, Kirk, let me ask you, as a founder, a new founder, you obviously have done your homework. What can you share with other founders, with our audience that is watching this, to get to the point that you got to? What did it take? What did you read? What did you absorb? How did you practice? How can others get to such a good base level and then improve from there?
Well, get on PitchZone and have them kick the tires for you. That's
You already were very good last time, so I'm looking for, what did it take you? Obviously, you didn't just decide one day, okay, now I need to take pitching seriously, and that's it. You did something. What did you do?
Nathan came and spoke. My wife and I are both pursuing our MBAs together. And Nathan came and spoke at our class, and I reached out to him on LinkedIn as he offered to everybody. And he was just such an amazingly impressive person who sees the story, who gets the concept immediately, and then just shapes and molds it and everything. So I only err when I don't do as he says. And I didn't get a chance to try to consult with him about putting so much great material that needs to be added in today's pitch from last time. But now I think with everyone's help here, I think I know how to strip it down and make it that much more concise. So I'm looking forward to round 3. But yes, Nathan has just been an endless fun, and I think it's some of his best advice. There's an early child learning and development aspect to the product that, for differentiation, we'll lean into heavily. But Nathan just said, "What's the most important thing?" If you had to say one, you can't go for 2 angles. Which one would it be? And, the safety aspect, the peace of mind for caregivers, and I guess it's just kind of taking the scalpel and being willing to make those cuts. That there's always time to bring in the you can't call them trivialities. It's right up there as number 2 in importance for us, but you go with number 1. So we're learning to be more judicious that way.
Very cool. Very, very good. So, coaches, we are reaching the end. Does anybody have any final comment, advice, tip, trick for Kirk?
I mean,
Now the
I can
coaches
just
are baffled.
I'm not sure it's really a tip, Kirk, but I just want you to know that I find it really inspiring when, first of all, when people present well, but then when people are able to go back and rework something and make it better and learn from it. That's one of the things that inspires me the most in the world. It's the idea there's no such thing as a perfect speech or presentation. We can always make it better. That's the path I live on, and I see you're on that path as well. So I just want to congratulate you again and encourage you to keep doing the great work that you're doing. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
And I'll finish with saying that what Stuart just said is a very important word, and that is the word perfect. Please, everybody, do not strive for a perfect presentation, a perfect pitch, because quite often it makes you a little unapproachable if you're too perfect up there. So be yourself, be a little vulnerable, allow yourself to make a silly mistake. If you do, it's no problem. We're all human, and that's instantly what takes what might be considered a perfect presentation and turns it into an excellent presentation. So the only thing I want to leave you with, Kirk, is put a sign next to your camera that says pause. That's it.
Very good. Okay.
New habit.
And I'm going to put Susan on the spot here as well, because I kind of like this finishing with one last tip, trick, suggestion, advice, or anything like that. So, Susan, what would your final tip be for Kirk or for our audience that's watching? Oh, mute. Happens to the
There
best.
we go. Sorry about that. All right. So, Kirk, the last thing that I would say is what's going through the investor's mind is, are you going to be the partner I want to work with? And so make certain you end your pitch with that confidence that you are the person that they want to partner with to make money. And, leave your product behind and make sure it's you that you're selling at the end, because that's going to be the last thing in their mind is, I like what I'm investing in, but can I work with this person to see that the money's going to come in the end, and just make sure that they love you. Great job.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. And so we have heard these 3 final tips. My usual final tip to every presenter out there. And for you, it's an exercise in futility if I tell you this tip, Kirk, because you are already there. My number 1 tip is simply to have fun. Have fun with your pitch, have fun with your product, have fun with yourself, and most importantly, have fun with your audience. And that can even happen online. So I want to thank all of the coaches, not just the ones that are here today, but all of the coaches that are part of PitchZone for the tremendous work that you've all been doing for the last 12 weeks. We started this in October. We are now at the end of the year. Next week we will skip, and then we will continue again in the beginning of January. And of course, thanks to those that are on YouTube, leaving comments, everything helps. And I didn't show all of the comments here today, Kirk, so you may want to go back at a later point to the YouTube replay to catch all of the comments there. It usually takes some time for them to show up. Give it about a day, and then they will show up. And I want to thank you, Kirk, for showing us what a founder who really realizes how important pitching is can do in such a short time to get a pitch that will win the hearts and the minds of the audience. So thank you, Kirk, and to all of our viewers, I wish you a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Stay safe, and we shall see each other again next year. Have fun. Bye-bye.